Hey, fellow Restopians, welcome back to Restopia. Obviously, thumbs up, and you got be cool there. Stay cool, rather, not be cool. Stay there. So if you go to Hawaii, one of the Hawaiian islands, that's what you do. And you sort of do it down like that. Stay cool. I'm going to try and stay cool as I get this baby opened. So I did think, after just uploading the video where I said I missed the Christopher Ward delivery, I did think that it probably may go to the collection point today, and yeah, so I got a message. It was there. Got straight in the car, picked up some Golden Wonder crisps. I do like Golden Wonder crisps. They taste the same. I'm of a certain age, and Golden Wonder crisps taste the same as they did decades ago, in my opinion. Those kind of, sort of high-end crisps, they have their moments, but they're a bit too much for me. I like a good old. I won't eat one, but good. They don't. I don't think they look the same as they used to, but they taste pretty similar. But yeah, making you hungry now, aren't I? But yeah, other flavours are available, namely sausage and tomato. So picked up the package. I've cut the tape, but I haven't had a look at it yet. I pulled the tape off, but I haven't had a look yet. So I'm gonna open it now. Try not to damage it in case I have to send it back. Lovely packaging. I mean, I've seen the videos, I've seen the packaging. It's very heavy, not like the Mundane that I last received, which was really super light. But I changed the bracelet on that, and it's a decent weight now. I know that's because this packaging, let's get rid of the outer box, lovely outer box, a bit like Helm. Now it has a nice fitted outer box to protect it, and it does seem an inner box worth protecting. Kind of suede out there. Right, so what the plan for this video, and it's now a little bit rushed because I didn't think I was getting it today. So the plan is it was going to be a two-part video. This is an unboxing. I was just going to have a quick look at it, give my initial thoughts on the unboxing. I didn't realise that was sort of suede-ette. Yeah, I learned today apparently Christopher Ward is no longer at Christopher Ward. Apparently he was one of, I haven't done any research on this, so hopefully my mate's not feeding me a kipper, if that's what they say. Yeah, it was three guys, one of which Christopher Ward, whose name they used because it sounded British. And I think he went off to start his own watch company, and that fact, I mean, you guys might know this, it's not a brand that I've paid too much attention to until now. And he went off and started his own watch brand, which I think failed. But yeah, well, doesn't really bother me. I didn't like the Christopher Ward written on the dial, but I do quite like the new logo. So I guess you pull it. Yep. It's like one of those magic tricks when you're a kid. Yeah, that's all quite nice. Checkbook and pen in here by the looks of it. Oh yeah, so I've got my guarantee. It's all very nicely done. Slightly raised. Pop that over there. Owner's handbook. All matching the shape of the box. All very nicely done. I mean, at this point, being honest, I'm going to be very honest about reviewing this watch and my initial thoughts. You kind of, I love packaging. I like nice packaging. But you sort of do wonder, whoa, there she is, boom. You sort of do wonder, is it a bit smoke and mirrors? Not sure what's in there. I won't open that now. I'm just going to pop the watch out and just have a look, basically. Is it a bit smoke and mirrors? Well, we'll see. I mean, yeah, it's a lovely box. It'll be a nice box to put on it'll be a display box. I mean, I would stick that. I've got some shelves going up, which are down there at the moment. They are actually the same shelves as, I can't think of his name at the moment, but the guy from I Like Watches, or I Like Watches Too, but him. Hi, if you're watching. I copied his shelves. I saw his shelves and I thought, oh, I've got to get some nice shelves. And I had a look around for some nice shelves and I couldn't find any that were more suitable than the ones he's got. So I got some of those. But yeah, so they're waiting to go up. So initial thoughts, yeah, it's got that long, let's take my glasses off. I'm hopefully going to get this going. It's got that long look that kind of goes with the box. It's in a little sort of holdery thing, which I shall now take out, put it on the checkbook. Now, one thing I was worried about was, is this a brand new watch? Is this one that someone else has sent back? You know, I wouldn't mind someone else's one that's been sent back as long as they haven't abused it. It's a bit, it's very cold because I've literally just picked it up from the DPD collection point. So that's one thing. And that, as being a bit cold, it's got some, you know, condensation on it. Well, for our first impressions, kind of as I expected. It's got a lot of weight to it. It feels. Let's try the bezel. I'm not doing this in any particular. I'm going to take some measurements and stuff. That taper's quite aggressive. That's something I noticed. I didn't really. It's quite an aggressive taper. It's got a very. I knew it had a very long clasp, and I suppose being thinner at the clasp means that's less big, if that makes sense. But then again, the longer it is, it just looks sort of, it kind of looks longer. The proportions aren't great if it's thin, is what I'm trying to say. If it had been wider, I think, I haven't done any measurements, I think I'd have preferred less of a taper. Very large centre links. When you have an oyster style bracelet, you know, there's various options. This is kind of, I think, quite Tudory, I think. Although I thought the bracelet looked very Rolexy, it probably does from when you're wearing it. But the concept of having really wide centre links and really thin outer links, I think, is a very Tudor thing. You know, it's one of those, you know, I'd have to get one out to look at it, which I will be doing. Probably tomorrow now. I'll do the proper video tomorrow because I just won't have time. I've got some other things to do. So that was, yeah, colour is beautiful. I've actually got on my Longines Zulu time, which I said in the last video was one of the best blue dials. So decent amount of sunburst. I think the reason I like the dial on the Zulu time is it's I'm not always overly keen on sunburst dials, but I think it just works on the Zulu time. The colour and the level of sunburstness. Whereas on the Christopher Ward, it's a matte dial, so you don't get any sun. There's no sunburst effect. I do think it's a particularly nice blue. It's almost, what would I call that? A French blue. No back play. Zin could learn something from the back. The back play on that Zin I had was awful. But yeah, it's a nice bezel action. I can't knock it. Not the best, certainly not the worst. It's a nice bezel action. I'm going to try not to keep try not to sort of drag this out, but I do want to tell you all my initial thoughts on it. I think it's probably a bit, it's a bit thin for me. I haven't put it on the wrist yet, so you know, I'll have to do that. I do like that case back. Wow, I absolutely love. I don't think I've even noticed that. I love those slots in the case back. Must be a special tool for getting that off, or maybe you just an ordinary tool. An ordinary tool, but it obviously just fits in and hits the bit at the back. Maybe, I don't know. Don't take many case backs off. Yeah, it looks very nice. You know, I don't know too much about the movement and the quality of it, but yeah, I'll be honest. I'm not that bothered. It's not. I don't like open case backs. I don't really like looking at it. It really doesn't look anything special. I almost think it'd be better off not to be open, but it's made up for by the fact that that's a beautiful. Those slots in there are more appealing to my eye than that open case back. Yes, a decent weight. One of the things that I love, blue and silver, blue, silver, white. I'd rather have no date, but in some ways it's better at 9 o'clock. Has anyone ever seen the date at 9 o'clock? I guess it exists. Do you know what I haven't done? Naughty me. I'm not re-recording the video. I haven't put a light on. Let's put a light on. I don't know if that's better or worse, actually. It might be quite a good test to see if it's better or worse. I do have to be very careful of the glare, though, if I put the light on. Maybe. Do I need to do that? Let's do that. Let's try that. There's not really any glare, but it is lit. Let's try that. It's another thing I'm trying. Yeah, I do love the colours. I love blue and silver, blue, white, and silver, and orange with those colours. I think is one of my preferred combinations. I thought in seeing one I've seen a Christopher Wood before, I've seen a GMT, I've handled it, and I did think it was very nice quality. Initially, this feels the same. It feels like a really nice quality watch for 900 quid, £900. Lovely blue dial. Some of the things that I thought I wouldn't like, I didn't think that the hands went particularly well together, but I suppose it's just that kind of, what would you call that? Is that an arrow hand? Is that an arrow? Triangular? It's not an arrow, is it? Because an arrow would be angled at the back. But spear, I don't know. In the flesh, I've got to say, I think they do go very well together. They're fine. And you can overanalyze these things. I mean, you could look at lots of watches and say, oh, those hands don't go. I mean, Tudor Snowflake being one of them. When you actually look at it, they do look very weird together, but you just accept it. I quite like the Neptune thing on the balance of the second hand. Everything, I'm not going to spend too much time looking at it and commenting, but everything seems to hit everything properly. The bezel and dial seem perfectly lined up to me, because we had some issues with... that's why the Zin I bought went back. If I'm going to be... I don't think it's rotated to the right. It might be slightly, but we'll come back. I think there is a difference between this not being quite straight and... Well, we'll have to see on that, because it's annoying. I won't labour that point too much. I like the crown guard, obviously polished side, so they actually reflect a lot of light. So in a way, they're almost invisible, those crown guards, even though they're there. I mean, they don't stick out a massive amount. I think the shapes are really nice. It's different, when you have a fair few watches, you kind of, even if it's things you don't particularly like, the fact that you've got different watches kind of makes that okay, if that makes sense. It's different. There's nothing that's annoying me in that shape. I think it's probably quite nice. It's thin. I'm going to get the Omega Planet Ocean out tomorrow, because that's the watch that it reminds me of. But at a fifth, a sixth of the price, maybe a seventh. No, maybe a sixth. You get a discount on the old Omega. The crown. I did think in pictures the crown looked the logo on the crown looks a bit cheap. I've already said I quite like the logo, so it's difficult to then, moan about it. I think it's okay, but it does look. I think that crown does look cheap to me. The internal bit, it's that sort of sandblasting that's behind the two flags there. Which one's which? English and Swiss flag. Was it Swiss and English? Not sure. The inverted flag. I do think that sandblasting looks a bit cheap. Looks very micro-brandish. But overall, first impressions, let's open it up, is, I'll play around with that later. But yeah, overall first impressions are very good, which is what I was expecting. As I said, I've handled a Christopher Wood before. This feels the same. I think one YouTuber commented that the bracelet was better than Rolex. I mean, that's just a silly thing to say, really. It's a nice bracelet. It's a very nice bracelet, I would say. In terms of quality, I'm not talking about design, but yeah, is it Rolex level? I mean, does it need to be? Once it gets past a certain point, I think so. Let's just. It's nearly 15 minutes now. I didn't think I've been talking that long. I think £1,000. Let's just throw it on the wrist. £900. I know it's gone up a bit fairly recently. I've missed out on the 42mm meters, so I think Longines is 42 as well, actually, from memory. It might be 41. It does look a bit smaller. Very, very similar. The actual dimensions of this from the front, I think, look really good. They look better in the flesh than I thought they would from seeing pictures. So let's pop it on. It's obviously going to be a bit big. I don't know what's the micro adjust is out probably, but yeah, I can't really grumble at that size. I think it's pretty much perfect for my wrist. It is very thin. It looks even thinner on the wrist, and I kind of tend to prefer a thicker watch. I know I don't think many people say that. Everyone seems to say that they prefer a thinner watch. Not sure that's me. Kind of dive watch. It is very very much on the thin side. Links aren't quite, but you know, I'm used to chunky watches. But let's leave it there. That was my initial unboxing. It's at least as good. It's at least as good as I thought it would be on the initial unboxing. I did have high hopes for it though. So you know, that is can't think of anything else worth adding at this point. It's a shame that I like that back so much, like the outer back. I do like a nice oval, nice curved oval on the back of the watch. If you compare it to, well, as I say, I will get the Omega out tomorrow. Do a bit of a comparison after I've spent some time with this. But yeah, that has the sort of the horrible sort of what would it be, octagonal? You know, the horrible shape to it. Whereas this, I don't know, it just appeals to me. Quick release on the bracelet as well. I'm not sure I'm a massive fan of those, but you know, it is what it is. But I think let's get this video out today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've got any questions for tomorrow, I'm going to play around with it today and do some measurements and some notes and stuff. I'll try setting it, obviously, because that's something in terms of quality. I've already said I'm not too, you know, the movement in as much as what it looks like, it's how it works, you know, and how it works is two things for me. One is how it works when you set and wind and set, and how long it lasts, whether it breaks or, you know, how accurate it is, obviously, as well. But yeah, that actual, you know, I'm not really a movement guy, shall we say, if that makes sense. Probably doesn't. The movements kind of go up with the quality of the watch normally, so there isn't too much in those differences that I think I need to get too involved in, if that makes sense. You know, I think you just sort of get what you pay for, so it will go up, and then if you're not paying too much, you shouldn't expect too much. And if you get more than that, if they under promise and over deliver, fantastic. Well, I think, as I say, I'm going to leave it there. One wrist, live it.